Mac Engel of the Fort Worth Star-Telegram. Mac, we appreciate you being with us, especially on a night like this where the topics are, certainly the first topic anyway, is one of serious weight. The passing of Marshawn Kneeland, obviously taking the attention of the entirety of the sports world over the course of the last 3 or 4 days now that it has been. Moments of silence at NFL stadiums all around the league today, honoring the passing of this 24-year-old Dallas Cowboys defensive end. How did the news hit you on Thursday, and how have the last couple of days hit you?
Well, I think I've lived long enough, like a lot of people, that I've been affected by suicide. I've known friends of mine who've taken their own life, and certainly I didn't know Marshawn on a personal level by any stretch of the imagination, but I know that when somebody does something like this, the aftershock is forever. You never forget where you were or your reaction when you find out a loved one has taken their own life. And there's a lot of thoughts I have on this subject, and obviously we don't know the particulars of what he was dealing with. And in fairness, Mike, I think it underscores that we never really know what someone is struggling with. The only thing that we do know is that everybody does have their struggle, because this is the guy that you would look at and say, well, he's got the life, right? He's got the life. I mean, he's an NFL, he's a starter for the Dallas Cowboys. I mean, that's the life, but he's got struggles too. And to me, what I think this issue underscores is that I don't think enough men, even in this generation, and I say this as someone who's on the other side of 50, who has seen all this evolve, Mike. I think one thing, and Matt Rule, the Nebraska coach, touched on it briefly the other day during his press conference, guys still are awful. Despite all of this awareness about mental health and all this other stuff, remain the leaders in the clubhouse at awful at expressing themselves and being honest about what's going on in their head and in their heart and their stomachs and their bodies. And I'm just going to say this 1,000 times. You cannot, this is a very emotional thing. And we're not, a male is not any less vulnerable to the human experience than females. The difference is we are horrible at talking about it, because if we do, then it's not masculine, or we're not being strong or tough, or all these other things. And I still think that is a very, very big problem. And I'm only guessing, this is just a point of speculation, I'm only guessing that Marshawn had those thoughts and feelings that maybe he just never quite addressed correctly. And then tragically, he's gone far, far too young.
We hear it said oftentimes, it's okay not to be okay. Yeah. And it's a clever way to put it. It's a clever thing. Because it's a clever way to put it, it gets said a lot, but the actual emotion behind it, the meaning behind it, I think is illustrated by exactly what you said. Marshawn Kneeland is somebody that from the outside looking in, you'd think this guy has it all. He is a starter for the Dallas Cowboys, for America's team. He had a wonderful girlfriend. He had a great family. He had a lot of these things that from the outside looking in, you would think he has everything. So for everybody that's at home watching that may feel themselves like they don't have it all together, it's okay, because none of us do. Nobody does. So it's all right to vocalize the fact that you don't have it all together, and there's no shame in not having it all together, because no one does, no matter how much it looks like they may in any given moment.
For me, part of it too is the whiplash, because we often think if you're in an emotional spiral that it only takes one moment to kind of get you out of it and kind of switch things around. When you think about this happening days after his first NFL touchdown, which I think what a lot of people would consider to be, that's a high mark in your career. This is a turning point for him. This could springboard him into something else. I think it just underscores the fact that, again, like we keep saying, we don't know what's going on behind the scenes with any of these people. And more importantly, it's a continual process. This is something you have to continue fighting. It's not just hey, something switched and I'm okay now. That is not anywhere close to reality on any stretch of the imagination.
There's so many layers to all of this, and certainly the Cowboys locker room will have to reconcile with all of this. And I know that, at some point over the course of this bye-week time frame, the conversation is going to switch to, well, the Cowboys now have to prepare for the Las Vegas Raiders in their first game after the bye week. And yes, on some level, that is obviously true, because that game isn't going to somehow not be on the schedule a week from tomorrow. But I know personally I'm not to the point of thinking about that yet, because that feels so immaterial compared to, they don't need to refocus themselves so they can deal with the Las Vegas Raiders. They need to just be in wherever they need to be right now to deal with the emotions of, they lost a 24-year-old teammate a few days ago, and anything football-centric is so far off the table right now.
You're absolutely right. And we have seen other instances with this team where a player has died during the season, and you got to go be a pro. Because you said it, they're not going to cancel the game. You got to go to work, and life moves on. As that's just the reality of it is, because and they're going to have to you don't put it aside, because you do have to deal with it, and it does underscore his absence far more for those guys and that coaching staff. Obviously, it hits them a lot more, but it underscores for all of us the need to address, hey, are you doing all right? Really, are you doing okay? Are you doing all right? Whomever it is. And so they've got to do that, and they've got to get ready for a game, because listen, the bottom line is this team just made a couple of significant deals to try to make a push so they can have games in December that might have an impact that they could play potentially in January. As silly as that sounds, especially in light of the tragedy that just happened, that's their reality. And as pros, that's the task at hand on Sunday in Vegas.
Yeah. I will say this, just to put a bookend on all of this. Over the course of the next couple of days, week or two, whatever it is, as this is still top of mind for everybody, everybody's going to a little bit more intentionally ask, how you doing? Don't let that falter, and don't have that. It's easy to say now.
It can't be a burst.
It's a lot
It's got to be a real thing. It's got to be something that you put into your day to day.
Yeah. Instead of having it be the next time something like this happens, hey, let's start asking that question again. If we can all just that 1 inch more, it would be a good thing. We'll be back right after this. If you or someone you love is struggling with suicidal thoughts, there is help available right now. Just call or text 988. The Suicide and Crisis Lifeline is open 24/7, and someone will be there to listen.